Hey guys, welcome to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We are starting a new series called Meal Management, and kind of bouncing off of what we've been doing, Adam, for this particular year: metabolic management, macro management. I know we've talked about meals in the past, but I thought it would be a really good idea. Something I've kind of done in my Flexible Dieting Institute daily live chat calls, where we take one day a week and we really dig deep into meals and food prep. And you and I have talked a lot about, here's kind of a good structure, here are the contexts, here are the nuances, and go forth and make a good meal. But I thought it'd be really helpful for us to give actual examples of what we think are really good, quote, perfect meals for pre-workout, post-workout, and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great topic because of the new year and a new season, a hopefully relatively COVID-free season. We have had a decent amount of people who are actually new to macros starting off with us. And I can just think of all the questions that a lot of people have been asking me. And, the truth is, if you go back to our Diet Ladder series, a key component of everything is hitting your total calories for the day. The second key is actually dividing that up into protein, carbs, and fat. So focusing on those two at the front of this series of podcasts is going to be really important to keep into context. But we're going to kind of tell you some things to help fine tune and optimize things as you go.
Right. And as soon as you do those two things, Adam, which is decide, how many calories I need per day, per meal, what's my macronutrient profile going to be? One of the things to note is one of my clients asked this week, also a new client, hey, I'm really working hard to kind of balance, the amount of protein, carbs, and fat per meal. And I said, well, that has some value, but some meals of the day, you may not want to have balance. You may want it to be all carbohydrate or mostly protein, depending on your physiological needs. So let's dive right into the pre-workout meal, because, I thought when we talk about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or meals, 1, 2, 3, 4, you run into that context change anyway. It depends on when you train. So I thought if we talk about pre and post workout first, then we can apply it more to the time of day. So for me, I'll give you my perfect pre-workout meal in two different scenarios. One would be if I do train in the morning, and my pre-workout would typically be something like a third or maybe a quarter cup of oatmeal with a scoop or even just half a scoop of protein powder. Something, even though it's kind of a complex carb, my stomach's empty, haven't eaten, probably going to be spending 30 or so minutes driving to the gym, so a little digestion time. But just that little bit of food that's still light on the stomach gives me a lot of great energy. But then later in the day, if I've already had a few meals, it's typically going to be kind of a snack, because I'll schedule my training to be a couple hours away from my last meal, because I don't want all of that parasympathetic nervous system kind of wash out and shunting blood away from my muscle tissue. So it's going to be what I know digestion is pretty complete, but I still feel like I need a little something. So that's when it's going to be a granola bar or maybe a rice cake with a little peanut butter and jelly. So now it's even smaller because I have had those meals. So there are two for me. Adam, tell me what you like to do.
So I'm different because I train at night. I train, and people are going to think I'm crazy, but I train 9, 10, 11, sometimes midnight at night. And then usually I wrap up about 2 hours of emails afterwards. But, I've ate most of my meals for the day. It's a relatively small meal. And then I go to bed on a pretty light stomach, to be honest. So my pre-workout meal is usually just a couple rice cakes, maybe a little bit of peanut butter, and I usually just have a BCAA or essential amino acid when I train. And a lot of that is because usually my meal before is maybe roughly 2 to 3 hours prior. So like I said, there's kind of a 3-hour window where I train. I might beef up that meal a little bit and take away from my post-workout carbs if I am feeling just a little bit hungry. We sometimes have those hunger cue shifts that actually do make us be a little bit more dynamic with our pre-workout meal. And this is what's great about macros: since you're not stuck with a meal plan, you can be intuitive on how you place those carbs for the day. So if it is midnight for me, I definitely beef up that meal because it's usually been 4 hours since I've ate at that point, and I'm usually pretty hungry.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't say I could train that late all the time, but some of my best workouts have been late at night like that, just on a whim. But my pre-workout has usually been something like tequila. But that's a story for another day. We will pick this up with post-workout meals in the next episode, and I think I want to start kind of where we leave off with this one, Adam. So we'll see you guys next time in Contest Prep University.